And now may we bow our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all of your blessings over the past 4 years. From the friends that have had our backs during hard times, to the amazing staff that was there for us when we needed anything, to the snow days when we really needed an extra day to work on a project. Now that those are in our past, and we ask for your blessing in the future, for college and for when we start our careers. Please watch over us even as we leave here today. In God's name we pray, amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the 2020 Union Local Graduation Ceremony. First and foremost, I want to congratulate our graduates. It's been an interesting year. But I also want to congratulate the parents, the grandparents, and the caregivers of our students. You watched their first steps. You heard their first words. You held their hands as you walked them to preschool and kindergarten. You were there for the duration of their education, offering your support. You were also there for their first heartbreak. As they continue their journey, know that they will continue to need you. You never need your parents any less as you grow older. You just need their support in a different way. Today is not just about our graduates, it's about their entire family. Please take the time to soak this in and celebrate this moment as they prepare for the next steps of their journey. I also want to offer a few words of inspiration. And anytime we talk about public speaking, I always try to encourage our students to really look out into the crowd, make eye contact, make connections with the audience. But welcome to 2020 as I stare out into an empty gym. So when I really thought about what I wanted to say, I thought the most impactful thing I could speak about is what I share with my own children. And it comes down to your principles, your values. Oftentimes we equate success with our status, with the money that we make, or the number of followers that we have on social media. But success is so much more than that. Success is about living a life of purpose. And if you speak about what you want to be, what you aspire to be, you're going to have people along the way that will help you. So I want to share the 5 things I talk to my children about in hopes that you can create your own list that impacts you for the duration of your life. The first is leaders do the right thing even when it's hard. When we look at the world today and some of the issues that we're facing with our pandemic that we're dealing with and other issues affecting our country, we need leaders now more than ever. And the first place that you need to be a leader at is within your own home, with your own family. Go be a leader, especially when it's hard. We must work to make sure our faith is stronger than our fear. It's okay to be scared, but never be afraid. As we age, we realize we're not as physically strong as we used to be. That is why it's so important from the time you're young is cultivate being stronger on the inside than you are on the outside. Focus on your emotional health and well-being. Each day is a blessing. Attack it with the enthusiasm it deserves. And finally, do not let your ego be your enemy. Confidence is something that you go out and earn through trial and error. Never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to be coachable. I want to share a very quick story about how these have impacted my life and how by sharing them with my family it's made me a better person. One day, we were driving by my brother's house. It was a very windy day, and we saw that his trash can had tipped over, and the wind had blown the trash all over the yard. And as I drove by, I looked at my son and said, "Boy, your uncle's going to have a tough time picking that up when he comes home." And as we pulled into the driveway, my son, he looked at me and he said, "Dad, you talk a lot about being a leader, and you say leaders do the right thing even when it's hard. Don't you think we should have picked up Uncle Ben's trash?" And I looked at him and I said, "You know what? He is listening to what we say." So we got back in the car and we picked up that trash. And the moral of that story is when you share your values, when you share your principles, you're going to have people there to help hold you accountable, whether it's your family or whether it's your friends. So as you move on to the next step of your journey, share your values with people, share your principles with people, and you will have people there that support you and carry you when you're down. Aspire to be great, aspire to make a difference, aspire to make the world a better place simply because you are in it. And always remember that Jets think, Jets care, Jets aim high. Congratulations 2020 graduates. Go Jets.
Well guys, we made it. First, let me start off with telling you of how proud I am of us. From face-to-face instruction with all the resources at hand to having online instruction with the bare necessities, as well as having many of our final banquets, senior prom, sports seasons, and everything else canceled, we certainly have faced a hard time. However, we persevered and made it through. In my eyes, I feel that we, the class of 2020, were made for this circumstance. We were born into a year that faced uncertainty, and now we are breaking our first big milestone through another one. God knew we could handle it. Who knows what we will conquer next? All of that aside, the memories we didn't get to experience surely left us sad and upset. But let's not forget the memories and things we did get to experience. Let's start from the beginning, the first day of kindergarten, where it all started, or most of our journey started. We slowly went grade by grade through the elementary, reading our AR books to get prizes, made our first friends, and picked up some or left some along the way, and got to perform our yearly programs for our parents and families. Then came middle school, new faces in a new building of the school district. We learned our locker combinations or found ways to keep it unlocked throughout 6th grade year. We got to go to 6th grade camp and unwillingly learned a square dance because Mihalovich made us. Our families watched and helped us do our first big projects like Cell City and the famous American Fair. We got to attend our first school dance. Later in our middle school years, many of us got to go to Washington, D.C., where we got bucket hats and D.C. apparel for days. We also got to start participating in sports and find our sports niche if we had one. We had some eventful things happen, but nothing we couldn't handle. After being in middle school for 3 years, we finally made it to the high school. The final 4 years. We became the little fish in the big pond once again freshman year. We actually had to learn our locker combinations or once again figure out ways from our lockers getting locked and learn to walk on the correct side of the hallway. For the ones who participated in sports, we vied for spots on varsity. We got to join clubs and be a part of the student section. We had our first homecoming where we had no idea what to do and just stood there awkwardly for about half of the dance. We also learned to write in APA format in Spanish class. Lastly, the biggest part of freshman year was surely Mr. Mel, the man, the myth, the legend that taught several generations and fortunately and unfortunately ending his years with us. We didn't know he would have such an impact on us until the end of the year and wanted him to come back. Before we knew it, we were sophomores. Things started to settle out and we could just ride the waves into junior year, which most of us did. Sophomore year went just as fast, if not faster, than freshman year. Going into junior year, many of us started to look at colleges, go on visits, some students were being looked at by recruiters, and things started to pick up for sure. We may have struggled with chem and other classes, but persevered through it all. I mean, hey, we had 1 more year left until we were free. Finally, senior year, the year we waited for since we were freshmen, and it was finally here. We were finally the top dogs. Our last day of high school, we truly dressed up, more than likely for the last time. We got to be front and center of the student section for football and basketball games. We got our final homecoming dance, banquets, and sports seasons for the majority of us. Some of us struggled from the get-go with senioritis, itching to get out, but for others, it maybe didn't hit until later on. We thought we were going to have another typical end of senior year, but that was surely changed. We had the best senior skip day basically, but filled with school assignments. The class of 2020 surely had one unique senior year. Now, we may not be together to celebrate this wonderful once-in-a-lifetime moment, but cherish it because who knows if we will ever graduate from someplace again. For many, this is the first and the last, but for the rest of us, this is just one of many. Wherever you may go, don't forget where your roots came from. Don't forget all the love-filled Jet Pride memories. Once a Jet, always a Jet.
To everyone watching this graduation at home, good evening. Good evening to all the Union Local staff members, students, friends, family, and community members. I do wish we could all be together to celebrate this graduation in person, but I am grateful to the administration for organizing this virtual graduation, and I would like to thank everyone watching for supporting this year's graduating class. And to the Union Local Class of 2020, congratulations. I would like to thank the Union Local Board of Education, Superintendent Mr. Porter, Treasurer Mrs. Hisserich, and High School Principal Mr. Shetler for the opportunity to speak today. I would also like to thank the Class of 2020. My fellow graduates have certainly taken note that we did not all go to kindergarten together. Rather, I transferred from next year's graduating class into the Class of 2020 in the fall of 2017. Unless we have been in extracurricular activities together, you may not know me very well personally. However, I am honored for the opportunity to deliver this speech, and I hope you can take something meaningful from it. I'm going to be brief. When we're little, we're told we can be anything we want to be. I don't believe this. What I believe is that it's up to each of us to decide what the right path for ourselves is. We should all have the chance to try anything we want to try. For example, when I was young, I tried to play soccer. It turns out I am terrible at sports. I have absolutely no future as a professional athlete. My friends from the drama club can attest that I have tried to sing, and I am no singer. So when we're young, we're told we can be anything we want to be, and we try many things. At the same time, though, our lives may be pushed in certain directions, and as we grow older, I'm afraid we are too often told what we should or shouldn't try to do or accomplish. I think we all deserve the opportunity to dream big and to figure out for ourselves the right path for us and the life we want to live. As we come to the end of our high school careers, I want to encourage everyone watching to find the people who believe in you and believe them. Disregard anyone who tries to tell you what life is best for you. Maybe your goals are completely different from everyone around you or before you. Maybe they are different from everything you've known so far. That does not mean they are unattainable. As we begin to build and shape our lives after graduation, we will all face failures. Everyone fails. My personal goals are centered around academics, and I was accepted to 6 of the top schools in the nation, but I was rejected by just as many. If you fail, when you fail, certainly don't give up. Maybe change your strategy. Adjust your goals if you like, if you feel like that's what's right for you. But don't let anyone else tell you what you can or can't do or should or shouldn't do before you've tried it for yourself. We can't be anything we want to be, but that doesn't mean that the life waiting for you is the one everyone else expects. It's for you to find out. I think with every new generation of young people, there comes the notion that the young generation is somehow less than or more dysfunctional than the generation before it. This is simply not true. The issue is that the people we remember from the generations previous are the ones who made a difference, who made history, who built meaningful lives for themselves. This all lies ahead of us. The future quite literally belongs to the youth, and we need to make it our own. As we all pass this milestone in our lives, here's what we've got to do. Figure out who we are, set our own goals, and don't let anybody stand in our way. Embrace the people who believe in you, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Thank you for your time, and once again, congratulations to the Union Local Class of 2020. You should all be proud of yourselves for reaching this milestone and look forward to everything that is to come. Thank you again. I am Elsa Bretz, a 3rd-generation graduate of Union Local High School, and I am proud to be from Bethesda, Ohio. I am also proud to join my aunt, Carol Brown Blaney, on the Academic Wall of Fame as valedictorian.
Joining me now is somebody from, let's see, a small town in Ohio that knows about taking risks. Hey, it's IndyCar driver Zach Veach. Zach Veach, how you doing, man?
Hey, Don, thanks for having me here, man. It's great to be here.
I think it's crazy that we got invited to speak at a graduation ceremony over Zoom. Is there anything more 2020 than that?
Well, the funny thing is, I had to do all of high school online because I was racing across the country when I was a teenager, trying to get to the IndyCar series. So my graduation was virtual. So, we were just pre-COVID-19 class of 2013 when I went through it.
I was just talking to the students and I was like, wait a second, I need to call a guy. But I was just talking to the students about understanding that it doesn't matter whether you're in a big town, small town, we are all connected via this thing called the web, and opportunities are everywhere if you have the mindset to take them. And that mindset of like taking some risks in life. I don't think that there's a better metaphor of taking some risks in life and learning by doing than racing. Care to weigh in on that?
Yeah, 100%. For me, risk taking has been a huge part of my life. Even from the very beginning. I told my parents I wanted to be a race car driver when I was 4 years old. And honestly, they kind of laughed at first because they thought I would change my mind. Because when you're that young, it's hard to tell what path you're going to end up on. But I never changed my mindset. It took me 8 years of begging my parents to finally get my first opportunity to drive a go-kart when I was 12 years old. And once I got that opportunity, I never looked back. And the thing that I've learned, most from being 12 to now 25, going from karting all the way to the highest level of motorsports in America, has been being uncomfortable is a great thing. Finding things, doing things that make you feel uncomfortable is how we grow as people. And that uncomfortable feeling is your body telling you that it might be a risk that you're taking. You're sticking your neck out, or maybe you're doing something you've never done before and you're a bit scared of that. But for me, I look back, and in the moments that scared me the most and excited me at the same time are the ones I've grown the most from and are my favorite moments that I've have been through.
So I love that, and especially the not being able to not have the comfort. I think that uncomfortableness is what's going to lead people forward. There's so many great unknowns right now. Never in our history as a country have we seen the economy get taken out by a disease. And so there's a lot of people out there that are like looking in the rearview mirror for examples on how to, like, where do we go from here? We've never seen this. So the uncomfortableness is not an option. It's going to be uncomfortable. Give us some words of wisdom on how to navigate and how to weave your way up to the top of the pack.
For me, it was always having very clear-cut goals. My ultimate goal was always, I want to be an IndyCar driver in the Indianapolis 500. That was top line goal. But to get to that goal, I had a bunch of sub goals that were smaller and a lot easier to achieve within a month or 2 month period that I set and basically made a roadmap. If I accomplish these 15 goals, that will allow me to accomplish the main goal that I have. And a lot of that was just guessing. I talk a lot about IndyCar and how I got here, and honestly, it was smart choices and dumb luck. Some days you're gonna be on the wrong side of the fence. That's just life. But the main thing is when you have these setbacks or these moments where you took the wrong turn or you made the wrong decision, you do what you can to recover from that as quick as possible and get back to that path that you're on. Because, as we talked about taking risks, sometimes they're 50-50. It's going to either go well for you or it's not. And when it doesn't, you can't let that beat you down and be a negative thing. You learn more from your mistakes than anything else. I've said it before, but, if it scares you and excites you at the same time, it's so important for you to try that out. And, there's been a lot of moments that I've ended up on the wrong side of that fence, and it's been my worst times. But, I look back at it, and even though it was the worst thing I was going through at that time, now it's something that's made me stronger. For me, I think back to one, and it's Texas Motor Speedway. That's where my next race is going to be June 6th. The last 2 years, I have done so well there until I've hit the wall. Literally, the first year I hit the wall running third. Last year I hit the wall running fifth. And it's embarrassing to my core that 2 years in a row I've hit the same wall on the exit of turn 2, running inside the top 5. But I know when I go back this year, I have a chance to win that thing. I mean, you know, I'm just got to make sure I don't make the same mistake and take what I've learned from my last two mistakes there and just take it to victory lane. And that's the main thing. I mean, you know, you're going to make a mistake. You might repeat the mistake, but eventually you're going to learn from it.
Okay, how cool was that? Having an IndyCar driver on, and I'd never met him before. Matter of fact, that's the whole point of me doing the speech. I asked, and he liked the fact that, you know, after being asked by your principal to do the graduation speech, I thought, no one wants to hear from this old guy. I want to have somebody on that's from Ohio, that was from rural Ohio. And when I reached out to him, he immediately said yes. And that's my last point. Opportunities are everywhere. And while he said yes, he enjoyed the journey I was on. He enjoyed talking and wanting to do a graduation speech to people that had a similar background. And so even though you don't know where you're going right now, lying ahead of you are those opportunities. And I ask kindly that you seek to live a life of purpose, that you seek to live a life of passion. I know so many people that have golden handcuffs. That is to say that they went for a good paying job and they may not be happy. And at the same time, I know a lot of people that are making just okay money and they're excited about every day. I taught for 21 years, and was I overpaid? No. But what I was paid in extra was the ability and the joy to work with students and seeing them grow and develop. I think my favorite part of being a teacher now is not having them in class. I have 21 years of students that are, quite frankly, friends now. I get invited to weddings. I get to see them grow and prosper. And at the same time, I've also seen some students that are stuck sometimes because they've lost that joy, they've lost that passion, and they don't have direction. Think about the chapters of your book yet to come. Set those goals. Live that life of purpose. I know that this is unprecedented times we're heading into, but if you know that you're writing this book, every book has got highs and lows, but the end is usually you coming back to triumph. Set those goals. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your graduation. I sincerely am excited about your future. Thank you again to your principal, Shuttler. I am honored to have done this. And also thank you to Zach Veach. Now, class of 2020, the year that will always be known as the e-learning year, and go out there and make a life worth living. Those opportunities are everywhere. Good luck.
We will now begin our presentation of diplomas. Joseph Russell Bailey. Alec Joseph Barkus. Matthew Philip Bateman. Alyssa Sue Betts. Sierra Dawn Betts. Jacob Andrew Bolt. Sarah Marie Bonnet. Abigail Rose Boyer. Jacqueline Ann Brandon. Elsa Faith Bretz. Devin Allen Bryan. Zane Holden Cheatham. Cole Brian Clark. Courtney Rose Courtright. Kirsten Dawn Dallas. Brock Dwayne Fankhauser. Skylar Thomas Finsley Fry. Lindsay Nicole Funkhauser. Paige Laurel Funkhauser. Michael Kenneth Grobe. Molly K. Hamilton. Colton Neal Haney. Hayden Hunter Hilt. Amy Elizabeth Hisrich. Miranda Lynn Hummel. Matthew Michael Husvar. Alexis Lavon Ivy. Ellie Morgan Johnen. Kane Edward Kildow. Caitlin Nicole Kovach. Kyle Christopher Lockery. Noah Patrick Matthews. Savannah Paige Mayhew. Kaylin Nevaeh McCartney. Gage Michael McCleary. Hunter Daniel McCourt. Brianna Paige McDaniel. Luke Cameron McDiffett. Sadie Marie McFarland. Ashley Nicole McGraw. Jessica Madison Elaine McKean. Caleb Andrew Meyer. Quentin Thomas Milburn. Alexandria Naomi Moeller. Madison Elizabeth Monarch. Cody William Morrison. Savannah Caitlin Newman. Lauren Jai Newton. Jaden Kaylee Knoll. Bria Addison Parker. Austin Taylor Peck. Bailey Nicole Perlman. Lance Adams Piper. Anthony Walter Preslin. Nicole Elizabeth Hoopery. Cassie Lynn Ray. Jared Michael Ritter. Paoli Roberts. Caitlin Noel Russell. Nathan Glenn Russell. Evan Keith Saunders. Juliana Marie Sexton. Jeremiah Dallas Shaw. Aiden Johnston Sugar. Luke Joseph James Snyder. Kylie Elizabeth Taylor. Amber Rose Tidrick. Mackenzie Ray Trigg. Kyle Christopher Turley. Devin Owen Warner. Jordan Sue Watson. Cole Eugene Yoho. Mr. Poopery, I present you with the class of 2020. I certify that they have met all the requirements set forth from the state of Ohio.
As the president of the Board of Education Union Local School District, I accept the class of 2020. Go Jets.
I want to take time to thank all of our parents and family members, community members who supported us this school year. I want to thank our students who welcomed me as their new principal. I want to wish them a successful life, a successful career, and I want them to focus on being great leaders within their own home. I recently read a book called The Score Takes Care of Itself by Bill Walsh. And if we talk about our principles, our values, and we adhere to them, and we share them with others, and we hold each other accountable, the score in your life will take care of itself. We cannot predict our lives. We can only control our preparation. Choose a life of purpose. List your values, list your principles, share those with others. Choose a life where others are better off simply because you are part of it. Remember, Jets think, Jets care, Jets aim high. You're always a Jet. Go out and make a difference. Congratulations.